So you've done the self-help and you've dipped into some personal development, but now you ask the question, now what? What can you do? Well, if you want to escape the apathy, step right this way. So twice a year, I teach a course called Autonomy. It's a 12-week personal development and training course. What people get out of it is multifaceted. There's curriculum, there's exercises, there's camaraderie, you make new friends. There's a whole lot of interesting things. We're going to hear a sample from the course right now, and let's take a look at the value these students are getting.
I've identified 3 things that I really want you to do this week. And so that's what I'm going to.
So you're going to do the tax, you did the taxes.
Yep.
Are you going to do the important stuff before you clean the bathroom, or you can use cleaning the bathroom to procrastinate on the important stuff? How do you work it out?
Yeah, I think that cleaning the bathrooms, just sort of a side task that I can sort of do a little bit before bed each night, things like that. So it's just something that, I want to do. I like to keep on top of cleaning stuff. So when I switch apartments, it's not like, oh crap, this thing is full of mold and grime and whatever. But it's also not a high priority as much as my big 3 tasks that I've been trying to do for this week.
Yeah. I mean, so the optimal way to teach it would be like, get that stuff done Monday. And then on Tuesday, do something similar, like put off cleaning the bathroom and get all these high value things done, and then hire someone to clean the bathroom.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the other option.
That's how it's supposed to be done. Do I still clean bathrooms? Does my wife still clean bathrooms? Yes. But twice a month we have a cleaning crew come through and clean the upstairs professionally. And that takes but then there's also the prep for the cleaning people coming. Like there's this whole other thing that goes on. Right. So you could have a family activity. It's like, hey, let's clean the house. But if you're doing other things like having family experiences outside the house or doing work that's more valuable, then you delegate and outsource. Right. I also wanted to touch on this notion of the order of operations. So I was asking you about the order of operations for tasks, but even like for getting goals in place and having accountability, like what is it all like? And so I thought back to like when I first experienced the structure of let's call it efficiency or effectiveness, because they both come together with action, because neither one happens without action. I didn't get it in high school. I didn't get it from being an entrepreneur and doing odd jobs or any of that sort of stuff. I got it when I bought into the franchise, and that franchise had to have a training system to make sure that they had knowledge transfer, right? So once you go through the knowledge transfer and you get some training, then you're in the everyday, like you're going out and, you're committing to production, right? How much money are you going to bring in? And then so it would start with a scheduled meeting and then asking me what my goals are. Now they could start and say, how much would you like to do in production this week? How many houses would you like to paint? How much you charge? Whatever. And I could say $10,000. Okay, great. So then let's figure out how many doors you want to knock on, how many flyers you want to drop, how many ads you want to run. In other words, how are you going to get those leads? How are you going to close those leads? So there's like a specific plan. So I had say over picking a goal, whether it starts with, I want to knock on 500 doors this week, right? Because that will bring in a certain amount of money just doing that. So you can do either way, commit to the actions or commit to the goal, and then the goal is driven by those actions. Or if you do the actions, the action will drive whatever comes out the other end. From there, so you have a goal, then it's a plan, and how are you going to do these things? Are you going to wait till Friday to try to knock on 500 doors for the week? No, I'm going to start Sunday. I'm going to get on Monday and Tuesday. What if it rains a couple of days? Can you still do this? Do you have enough doors? Do you know where there's enough interconnected housing community to do that? Because otherwise you're driving and there's drive time. So you help people think through like all the things that might happen. And when you're confident as a coach that like they could do this, if they do this, they could be successful. And then you call them at the end of Sunday, how'd it go today? Oh, I talked to myself. Okay. So now we got a problem with the goal already. They're talking themselves out. So I can nip it in the bud by Monday, Tuesday, not wait till Thursday to find out they're going to be off the mark. Right. And that's where accountability comes in. Let's have a meeting and do a post-mortem on last week and now making a stronger plan for next week, right? So I said I wanted to do 20,000 in production. We missed that. It rained. We did 5,000 in production. Okay, so we had a too aggressive goal for the type of elements in the terrain, and we can make some adjustments. Or I can say next time I'm going to have all these people who wanted interior jobs that we turned down because there's not a lot of money. And I just tell those people, I'm going to give you bottom dollar. I just want you to pay for the labor. I just want to keep my crew at work when it rains. I don't need to make money when it rains. I want them to be employed, but I'm going to give you short notice. might be as little as like 12 hours, right? And then they get work done, crew gets paid. I get happy because all the days it's sunny, everything works great. So if I just have a plan to make it through those rainy days and hit my goal, and that's where it comes down to, because it's not always going to be sunny days. It's a law of averages. And once you get that worked out, you're like, oh, I can go hit this every week. And before you know it, yeah, we can do 20,000 in a week, or I could do 30,000 in a 2-week period. But you got 3 or 4 crews working to do that. And there was like training of people to jump on those opportunities. There was a whole bunch to it. But I wasn't getting any of that from college whatsoever. But they're giving me a business degree. So I just found it so ludicrous and ironic. And but that was like the strength of it. So it's not just getting over the fear of knocking on doors and being told no, right? Because it's not always a no. It's a maybe later a lot of times. Not right now, right? But if they've got their house at risk and it's like rainy, like if there's a thing there, you need to point it out. I know you want to wait till next year and that will be convenient, but you're at risk of like having to replace a lot of wood, or, part of the house is expensive, whatnot. So you just bring it to their attention and let them make an informed decision. And if you do it right enough times, it all works out without ever having to, like, there was never anyone that I had to trick into letting me paint their house, And there were plenty of people whose houses, like by the time you get done doing the estimate, they're not going to pay what it's going to take to do it right. And you let them know that, hey, this is going to seem high because I'm doing it right. And if you want me to like change, I can't not do it right. So we're just not going to be able to do it. But I want you to have this so you can compare to other painters when they come by and ask you. Now you know what done right looks like. And if they offer you half price, you ask these questions. And I teach them how to intellectually defend themselves against somebody who might not have good training, right? So there's not an angle left where it's not satisfying, fulfilling, integrity-based. Like you're just working in a sweet spot no matter which direction you go, because you have these methods set up. You've asked these questions ahead of time. You're doing it consistently to work off the burrs in that process. And before you know it, I don't have to drive like 2.5 hours or 3 hours to go do the meeting in person. Now my boss, my coach, my mentor will do it with me over the phone. But for like the first, year and a half, I'm making that drive until it's like, okay, you're like on autopilot. You just need help every now and then type thing. And you learn to fly.
Having the freedom to be in control of my time and my workload has always been really important to me. So I took Autonomy and I got some high value skills that'll let me work anywhere at any time. I got the skills that'll let me overcome the problems and challenges that come up in my day-to-day life. And I overcame my fear and my self-doubt, so I'm not procrastinating anymore. You can take your scarcity mindset and switch it out for an abundance mindset at getautonomy.info. Check it out today.